Hey, welcome everyone. Let's get seated so we can make the most of our precious time here. Just to clarify, this is not a general session. All right. So this is our breakout session with our beloved Scientific Advisory Board. We're going to try to wrap up at 2:15, and today we want to hear from Dr. Rouse, and Alan Ogden. I'm going to try to say as little as possible. But we hope you've really enjoyed everything we presented up to this point. We got a lot more to come, okay? But let's jump right into this, all right? So if we could give a warm welcome to our Scientific Advisory Board. Yeah, we really appreciate them being here today. And I'm going to... Let's see if this one's working. That is working. Okay, we're working it. Okay, so we just kind of threw a lot of new information your way as far as two new formulations in Vara and Energí. And if anyone refers to it as wellness, there's a jar in the back. You got to put $1 in it. Okay, so it's all good. But maybe we can start. And we'll talk about, maybe we start with Vara first, and we'll talk about that formulation and why we did what we did and what some of their thoughts are there. But maybe what we could do first is we'll start here with Alan. Just tell a little bit about who you are real quick, and then let's jump to Dr. Rouse and then Rallis, and then we'll start with a few questions, okay?
Okay. My name's Alan Ogden. I'm a retired pharmacist, actually. So I have a degree in pharmacy. I have a diploma in geriatric pharmacy. I practiced gerontology for a number of years, and then I went back to school and took nutrition, and it's been a fabulous journey, and getting to work with these two gentlemen has been one of the highlights of my life, for sure.
Well, good to see you, Alan. My name's Charlie, Dr. Charlie Rouse from Albany, Georgia. And it's been a pleasure to work with Visi from the very beginning because they just love to put together the world's best products. And being a doctor of natural medicine and a pharmacist, I always look at everything from the root up. And so far, Ryan's got everything right, and I like that about him. So we're heading in the right direction.
Thanks, Dr. Rouse. All right. Dr. Rallis.
I'm Steve, and I'm also been part of the Scientific Advisory Board now for a few years, and have been through the trials and tribulations of product formulation. And yeah, I'm thrilled to be here, and can't wait to get started.
Yeah. All right. Great, guys. Well, we like to pretend at corporate that we know what we're doing, but the reality is we just really ride their coattails. So we're really thrilled to have the quality individuals that we have here with our board. But let's start right here with Alan, okay? We just talked about Vara. We talked about the new hero ingredient for Vara, which is the glutathione. You have a lot of experience with glutathione. Give us a little bit of that background with this ingredient and your thoughts on why you like it.
Well, I have to tell you a story first. I had the opportunity to meet Ryan. He ventured up to Canada. He got in my vehicle, and he was stuck for an hour and a half, and all I talked to him about was glutathione.
This is true.
It's true. It's absolutely true. And then we went to an event together, and then he was stuck coming home. And so we talked about glutathione on the way home. And
yes.
And the really great thing is he listened to what I had to say. He listened. I do have a number of years of experience. I was involved in some original research on glutathione. I was involved in a couple of clinical trials with glutathione several years back, and one in particular that was of interest to me because when I went to school, there was a couple of diseases that we didn't study because they didn't exist. Childhood diseases. Now, one's called autism or autism spectrum disorder. That didn't exist when I went to school. And we had started a major clinical trial on that with the use of glutathione. And so just I had a tremendous interest in this product. I had a personal experience with it, having had a severe brain infection that was not treatable medically, and glutathione was the thing that I used to treat that, and very successfully. So, just that personal experience, and then seeing what happened with other people, and knowing that Visi wanted to bring innovative, important products to the market. I couldn't hold back. When I got Ryan in my car, I couldn't hold back, and we had a great discussion. Thank you for listening.
Thanks, Alan. Yeah, there was no holding back. I'll never forget that trip, Alan. That was good times.
It was good time.
Okay, Dr. Rouse, tell us your thoughts, and if you have any funny stories, go ahead. But.
We can always work on that. With glutathione, the uniqueness about it is that 99% of the glutathione on the world market ain't worth a hoot. It's not absorbable, it's not usable. For a long time, they either had to shoot it through the nose, nasal, puff it through the mouth, into the lungs, or IV it one way or the other. It doesn't get past the stomach. But the Japanese, the pharmacology of the Japanese was so superior. They found that from vegetables, now this is an all vegetarian product, and whenever they take the vegetables and ferment it, they're able to come up with the world's cleanest, purest, most powerful glutathione. It's a reduced form. It's the only one that the human body can utilize. And in order to get it into the product, when Alan and Ryan were talking about, let's bring it over into our product, back of my mind is, I said, we better get this one right, because we'll be wasting our time. I mean, why would I want to even take, I was taking glutathione at the time, but I was taking the right one. And then when the Japanese company offered Visi the privilege of using the standard, the right kind, the SETRIA. The Japanese named it that. SET meant focused, it meant managed, and then they used TRI as 3, tri, A for amino acids. And that's all it is, it's 3 amino acids. And with those cetria, the glutathione that's in our product, Ryan then had the wisdom to say, well, what's in the scientific clinical trials? Who did what with the right milligrams? And not only did he say, put the right milligram in there, he bumped it up. So we have the A1 plus, best nutrition. And in our natural medicine over the years, anybody with an autoimmune problem at all, whether it's thyroiditis, Hashimoto's, lupus, rheumatoid, any kind of autoimmune system, that's our first #1 nutrition, because if you don't get them antioxidants, they're not going to get any better. And I'm excited to hear this about autism spectra, because think about how many kids with ADD, ADHD, or autism. Now we know that every student becomes a better student with our Vara product.
Thanks, Dr. Rouse. Yeah, great thoughts. Dr. Steve, you have a clinic, right? And I know you're a big proponent of having things in therapeutic grade. Maybe share your thoughts on what that means and what you've experienced in your clinic, and kind of what you've done with glutathione in your clinic, and how that relates to the glutathione in Vara.
I just want to thank Alan too for bringing glutathione to the front of your consciousness. But does anyone know what glutathione is used for? So maybe we should start there. So if a patient comes in, I'll give you an example. I don't know if anyone saw at lunch. I had my 2 little boys with Michelle and I at lunch. But my youngest was sick, had a cold this winter. First time he's really been sick. So we do the standard, address whatever the primary symptoms are, support his body so that it can heal. However, he wasn't healing. So this is around the 3rd day, and this is where the acute response of the body begins to sort of dovetail into more of a chronic response. And this becomes a little bit more serious. So when he crossed that threshold, the first thing that I do is we use what's called nebulized glutathione. So we take a nebulizer and we draw in around, for him, for his body weight, it's about 1.5 cc's of glutathione. We mix that with saline, and he inhales it. If the patient's not responding to nebulized glutathione, then we will do it intravenously or sometimes intramuscularly. But IM's typically avoided because it's painful. He received a nebulized glutathione treatment that day. The next day, again, his respiratory infection was gone. Glutathione's impact in practice is enormous. As a primary care tool, it's virtually unparalleled. In other words, it's a standard of practice. It's a standard of practice for all respiratory infections, all lung cancers, certain thyroid diseases, certain learning differences. I mean, it becomes the standard. And the fact that what Charlie said that was critical was, well, the research that Ryan is using was actually published ahead of publication. So most research that comes out is either e-published first and then is published in the journal. So this particular subsection of the research that was used with this type of glutathione was published 2015. And it's the first time it's really been demonstrated in a human population, not in an animal population, because we don't treat mice in our office, but in a human population that you could ingest oral glutathione, and then it could actually raise plasma glutathione in your lymphocytes, glutathione in your red blood cells, glutathione in the tissues of both the gut and the pulmonary tract. I mean, that's huge. It's huge. It's never been done. So you can imagine, like, we've never, for all the years, we can only use nebulized intravenous or intramuscular, but which makes your ability to use glutathione and its ability as an antioxidant virtually impossible, right? I mean, how could you possibly, you would never get the benefits of glutathione unless you were buying the drug, which is controlled, and ingesting it. So, I mean, like, I know why Alan sat there for an hour and a half, you know, like, it's you know, and the new wellness, is that
$1?
$1?
There's a dollar jar back there.
Put a Canadian dollar in.
No, American dollar, please.
So
a loonie.
Like, so Vara as a tool, you know, because antioxidants, like, and you'll wonder why, well, how come some people don't require glutathione? Well, it's people have deficiencies in how the enzymes break down glutathione. It's the same way we have deficiencies in how we break down folic acid, or the same way we have deficiencies in how we detoxify in our liver. So if you have those what are called genetic polymorphisms or tweaks to your DNA, then you're not able to make the same level of glutathione that you would from eating the same amount of broccoli, you know, asparagus, etc. So this is, you know, it's as a multivitamin that can jack up that level of antioxidant to that level. I mean, it's a game changer. It's a game changer.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, Dr. Rouse wanted to add something to that.
When Kiowa, the Japanese company that was doing the human clinical studies, they took some ladies, women, that were 80 to 105 years of age, and they measured their blood values, and every one of them, octogenarian to the centurion, had very high glutathione levels. So then they said, "Where's your children?" And the great-grandmas looked back to their children, 70 years of age, and they took their blood, and all of them had degenerative diseases. They were sick. They had high blood pressure, high cholesterol, heart disease, bypass surgeries. And every one of them had low glutathione levels. So there was a distinction there. Glutathione was very anti-aging, and if you miss it, stress takes it out, and disease hurts you, you know, then you need it. You have to have it. So then they looked at it, and they said, well, let's look at this. Let's go through the room here, and 50-year-old women we're going to look at 50, 60, 70, 80-year-old women in the room, and you know, some of them just look younger than the others. And they picked out every one of the young-looking women in that room. Every one of them had high glutathione levels. So if you want to look young, stay young, I guarantee you it's in the glutathione.
So I want to pick up on something that Dr. Charlie mentioned when he was originally talking about autoimmune diseases, because there's a big question. In the medical profession, what we do with autoimmune diseases is we try to control the immune system. We either try to turn it off a bit, or we try to turn it up a bit, and we do that using some form of drug therapy. And one of the really unique things about glutathione is because it's what your body, it's the natural immunity of your body. It's really the quarterback of the, we know your immunity is actually a network. So it's an immune network, and glutathione's kind of the quarterback of the immune network. And so what you can give glutathione to people who have autoimmune diseases because it's the natural way of controlling the levels, the activity of the immune system. And that's another reason that makes it really unique as well. So he mentioned people with, what did you mention? Lupus. Yeah, I mean, you can, so in our research, the research I was involved in, there's 68 illnesses that we looked at, and all of them had one common denominator, which was low glutathione. 68 illnesses. And on the slide this morning, Ryan mentioned that there was 80,000 studies on PubMed. That's
low.
It's actually about 120,000 now. It is the most researched nutritional element in the human body because of its importance that you just heard Steve talk about. This has been a medical mystery for years, and how can we actually optimize our immune system? And Charlie also mentioned the proper level, the proper amount, and that's been researched as well. So there's products out there that have some fermented glutathione or fermented GSH, it'll say on the side, but it'll be maybe 50 milligrams or something like that, that's not enough to affect your immunity. It has to be much higher than that. And so the dose that we do have in Vara, but I would give them a loonie, you can have a loonie.
What's a loonie?
A loonie's a Canadian dollar. Yeah,
I wonder what that was.
it's worth about 63 cents American. So
We don't want any loonies. They do a little differently up there,
yeah.
Dr. Rouse.
Loonies
Yeah.
and toonies. Yeah, so come on up. And anyway, so the amount that we put in there is it was included in the clinical trial. It wasn't, well, we'll just throw some into this preparation. We actually looked at the research, read the research, and said, okay, this is the amount that we need to ensure that it's effective. And in the studies that I was involved in, the glutathione in animal studies, and Steve's right, we don't treat mice in our practices, but we do in research, but mice and rats would live 30 to 50% longer. So not zero to something. It would be, the minimum would be 30%. So one of the studies I was involved in, we took rats that were about to decease, and when they're old, when an old rat gets kicked out of the family, they shove them off in the corner somewhere and they won't deal with them. And we would take these old rats that were ready to die, we would treat them with glutathione, and within 3 to 5 days they would be back with the rest of the rats living just like a normal rat. So this is so powerful. Like, we can not explain in 45 minutes what you have your hands on. And additionally, glycine, and I know you've heard about the amino acid glycine if you've ever listened to Charlie's talk on ProBeta or Nufina, and glycine is an integral part of this tripeptide. It actually scavenges the amino acid cysteine, which is a limiting factor. It scavenges it and helps rebuild glutathione. So we really have a fantastic combination here with the new Vara and the products that we're already offering people.
Hey, and by the way, I've written a new book, and Sound Concepts is about to publish it in the next few days, so you'll be able to get it the samurai warrior of nutrition, glutathione.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, awesome. Hey, well, you know, I think this has been a fascinating discussion and education in glutathione. What do you think? Yeah, I think so. I mean, these guys obviously are pretty smart. I mean, when I talk about it, I talk about the Tasmanian devil and life jackets. Okay, that's about, you know, as high level as I get. But no, and you know what? The more I listen to these three gentlemen talk, I think we don't really even realize kind of what the power and the effect that this is going to have, you know, here at Visi. And I think hopefully that'll start to really sink in, really, you know, sooner than later, and we'll continue to get better understanding all of this, you know. And so I just think just a wealth of information here about the cetri of glutathione. Again, it's trademark, it's patented. We have the studies to back up everything that has been said here, you know, today. And for the sake of time, I do want to move on. We've got a few more products to talk about. Let's move on to the new Energí, okay? Now, there will be no dollars because it's pronounced the same, Steve, okay? So you're... Yeah,
Energized.
Energí, but... anyway, you know, there's three main components here, right? When we talk about the natural energy components with the guarana, the green tea, and the D-ribose. And then we've got the neuronutrients with the GABA and the Ginseng, and then the L-arginine carrying that through. Steve, maybe let's start with you. Give us your thoughts on just the formula in general, and maybe you could talk about the natural, the energy, creativity ingredients in the formula.
I think that this is an amazing formulation. First and foremost, I think that in terms of the energy market, which is what as a partner you would sort of be comparing it to, I think it has no comparable. It has value both on an intrinsic level with the ribose and the arginine. And what arginine does is it vasodilates, so it causes your arteries to expand. So the implication for that neurologically is significant. The implication cardiovascularly is, I mean, in general, as we age and as we, especially as a Western society, begin to develop heart disease, we see it first in the smallest vessel, which would be eyes. So we begin to see changes in eyesight, changes in penile integrity, let's say, changes to fingertips and toes in terms of peripheral neuropathies, and even changes to organ function. And I know that Charlie and Alan were both sort of ranting and raving last night, you know, in the therapeutic dose of this is such that that can offset some of those changes. Then when you couple that flow, the vascular capabilities of the product, to the energy boosters, you know, the guarana, the green tea, these are the best forms of caffeine, if you will, in terms of a stimulant. They're the most natural form of a stimulant in the way that our body can understand it completely. And then it's coupled with GABA, which is interesting because the one theme that we will keep coming back is the amino acid glycine. And glycine is principally an inhibitory neurotransmitter. That means it causes your body to relax. But it does it in a way that's not a sedative, which is very unique. So glycine is found in glutathione. Glycine is every third molecule in a collagen chain. Glycine is the precursor to GABA, which is found in Energí. And then there's ginseng. And ginseng is, there was a handful of herbs for 2,000 years that were under emperor's rule in China. In other words, you weren't allowed to abstract those from nature, except under death. And ginseng was one of those. It was the main adaptogen. It is one of the few things in Chinese medicine that is known to restore essence. And essence is what you were born with. It is stored in the TCM, or the Chinese kidney. It's a body's ability to create energy like deep constitutional energy, the type of energy that you see that some people have, some people don't have. It's restorative. It is both a yin and a yang tonic, which means that it's an adaptogen, a natural adaptogen, which means that it can impact hormones, it can impact mood, it can impact energy. Like, this is just like an amazing formula. Like, if the last formula was better than what was out there. That's the, and this is honestly 10 times better. And and we're part of a company that and Ryan, like, I'm so proud of you and your brother and the team. Like you listen to us.
Usually.
Sometimes, but
Most of the time.
and to continue to take a product that is producing, to make it better, to reduce the cost, like, it's really an honor. I mean, for us as much as for everybody.
Yeah. I appreciate that, and thanks for saying that. And he's a big proponent and always has been. If you were to do a side by side on this formula, you'll notice there's not very many ingredients in this new formula. It is a small, short list, and Steve's been a huge proponent of getting the right amount of ingredients in a formula so that it will work. Instead of many times you see ingredients in there, but they're not really contributing to what you hope that it should do. And so, I just want to thank Steve. He's been pounding that drum, since the day I met him. And you do that side by side, and it is a really short list, and that's that way for a reason. It's because we wanted to increase some of the current actives we wanted to keep, and then the new ones, we wanted to have the levels that were really, I call it a mega shot or a mega dose, but therapeutic, whatever you want to call it. But it's in there because, or it's a short list because we want those ingredients to really have the synergy and to work.
And that was part of our relationship. I just want to sort of add that in, that if we were going to play the game, like, it has to be a therapeutic dose. In other words, what you see out there, and people say, take a look at my product, they're junk levels. It's there to fool you. There's nothing at therapeutic dose.
Yeah.
It's a smoke screen. And I'm telling you, every single product that was put in front of me was not a therapeutic dose. It's there to fool the customer, to fool the partner, to fool the distributor, and you cannot build a sustainable company on that. I mean, no.
Yeah. No, for sure. Thank you.
Yeah.
We've got about, thank you. We've only got about just over 10 minutes, so I want to keep going because we do want to talk about Phöra. But if we could hear quickly from Dr. Rouse and Alan, just one or two key things on energy that you want to say.
Get out your ballpoint pen. Your body, 40% of all your energy in your human body goes to the brain. Caffeine does not help the brain gain energy. So on energy products, everybody's missing the boat, right? 40% of all the energy of the human body goes to the brain. So we hit the home run when we put GABA in there. That's the brain energizing nutrition. Without making you nervous, jittery, it keeps you focused. It helps you to sleep right at night. It takes care of the caffeine that's in the guarana and the green tea. So now you've got everything that your body needed downstairs and everything your body needed upstairs. But then, as Ryan said earlier today, you got to carry all those molecules to where they're going. And if your blood vessels are too tight, too stiff, your blood pressure's already up, then you're not going to get what you need. And that's the reason, think about it, 1 million people every year die of cardiovascular heart disease. Now, you've heard that so many times, that don't mean anything to you. So, okay, 2,800 people die every day. Every day. You say, well, that don't mean nothing to me. All right, well, 747s crash every day and somebody dies. All because of poor blood vessel support. L-arginine in that product is at the clinical, therapeutic, heart necessary nutritional need, 3,000 milligrams per little packet. And when you take it, every blood vessel in your body's going to benefit. And then your brain's going to get what it needs. And like Steve just said, your fingers and your toe will know. Everybody needs L-arginine. and here it comes. So you don't have to be an energy-needing person to benefit from energy.
Thanks, Dr. Rouse. Thank you. Alan.
Yeah, well, I just want to add one thing to what Charlie and Steve has said, and there's a molecule in the body called nitric oxide, which has been well researched. It was the science, it's won several awards because it was the very first redox signaling molecule identified in the body. In other words, it tells the body what to do next. It carries the signals around. And L-arginine supports nitric oxide production. So that's why we get from fingers to toes to everywhere supported with L-arginine. We're actually able to bring this redox molecule to life in our body. And just one other thing with the ginseng, ginseng is known to be a great carrier of nitric oxide and oxygen around the body. So, I mean, it's just such a home run. We're going to have amazing, amazing testimonies when people start using this product.
Thanks, Alan. Yeah. You know what? I think we've got a winner. Absolutely. And it tastes great. I don't know if you had a chance to taste it, but I'm telling you, it's new and improved taste, and it's all good. Okay, let's move on to Phöra, okay? We've got about 10 minutes here. Alan texted me last night, and what did you say in your text?
Well, Ryan said that he would call me out today if I didn't wash my face last night.
That's right. That's right.
So I went to the room and I used the Phöra cleanser, and it's just such a great experience. It's so smooth. It's very nice. I have to say I love it. And so all you guys out there, this is a product you can use. And you know, men traditionally do not take care of their skin. They don't feel the need to do that. But when somebody walks up to you and says, you know, asks you your age, and you tell them, and their eyes get a little buggy, that's the value of using really good skin products and keeping your skin nice and clean. And our skin is the largest organ of our body. Just remember to do your face, your neck. You know, we get the chicken gullet down here when you get, you know, so you can. It's great stuff. I love it. Put on the Phöra after, and so. And I did wake up and my pillow was singing this morning, so.
Yeah, Dr. Rouse.
3 years ago when I came to Visi and I fell in love with the Arctic cloudberry, I had my beautiful wife of 45 years. I said, why don't you start putting cloudberry on your face? And so we've been doing that. And so she'll be my testimony wherever she's at. You can check her out today. She's still as beautiful as ever. But she was excited when Phöra came out because now we got the collagen and the cloudberry all in one beautiful pump bottle. And you know what she likes best about it? It works, but she likes that smell.
Hey, you know what? It's got to smell good, you know? It smells like candy, Dr. Rouse. It's the only time I can get your blessing, you know, to have more candy. Dr. Rouse, I know you mentioned you've recently done a lot of research in the skincare world. Why do you think we're seeing such great results with the Rejuvenating cream?
Well, I mean, I think beautiful skin, like when I saw the spectrum of products that are now offered, I can tell you definitively in terms of a product line that will produce beautiful skin, this is it. Skin requires certain things to happen. You have to create an environment where the immune system is quieted down. You need a hypoallergenic environment. You need stuff that are nutrients that are restorative to the skin. You need the skin, whether you're treating plaque psoriasis or atopic dermatitis, the one truth with skin or acne is the skin will reflect what's happening. Yeah. It is the most sensitive marker. Oftentimes because what the skin will express, it will tell you what's happening in other parts of the body. And, you know, the ingredients, the lack of, I mean, if you take even the ingredients and pump them through the environmental working group, you know, what's out there and what women will pay, because typically not men, although I think men's skincare is the #1 growth industry.
It should be. We need help.
Every skincare product will have at least 10 to 20 known endocrine disruptors. Every single product that's out there. And that's true from shampoos. I think that the average female puts on 120 different endocrine disruptors. And then you wonder why fertility rates are what they are, why genetic mutations are what they are, why cancers are what they are, why hormone disruption is what it is. We will routinely in our practice see women that are girls that are 10 and 11 that have fibroids or polycystic fibroids. Endometriosis is common. I was speaking with a gynecologist at the hospital. She said, I just assume that everybody has fibroids. Because I just assume that everybody has, they just haven't been diagnosed yet. So do not take lightly what you put on your face. You know, and everything that goes in and out all at the same time, our products dovetail together to both improve detoxification, improve hormones, and improve skin in so many wonderful ways. Like it's amazing. Like the product line is really amazing. And the skincare, I used it last night, the cleanser, could hardly stop in my face. I had to.
So I want to just, do we have like 1 minute?
We've got 2 minutes.
We've got 2 minutes.
Yep.
So we introduced 3 products. We introduced glutathione. One of the major areas that glutathione is stored in the body happens to be the skin. So it'll make so think about that. Then we introduced a product that helps with cardiovascular, to increase the cardiovascular capacity. And where do we have a lot of cardiovascular activity? In our skin. And then we introduce a product to increase the health of our skin. So everything that we're doing, every product that we have truly works from the inside out. You know, whether it's intentional, I've never talked to Ryan about that, intentional or accidental or somehow but it's really, to me, it's really cool how these products have all come together at the same time. The skincare, the increase in arginine, and the glutathione. And they're synergistic, and that's why I think we don't even know yet. You know, we're up here as scientists saying these things should work and they should do these things. I really anticipate that we are going to be surprised with the value that we have just added to the marketplace.
Absolutely. Thank you, Alan. Hey, you know, I think there's some really special things happening here at Visi, and I really think that the product line has really, you know, come into its own, and that synergy that we've talked about here today has really surfaced. And you know, we will continue to be innovative, okay, and we'll continue to work with these 3 fine gentlemen. If you can't tell, they're extremely intelligent and brilliant. And it's my pleasure to get to work with them all the time. So you're gonna be hearing a lot more from them in the future here with Visi as well. But I just wanted to personally thank each of you for being here, for sharing your thoughts and your brains with us today. And I hope that everyone really enjoyed this discussion and learned a lot. So hey, let's hear it for them, everyone. Thank you.